She barged through my cabin door, heels striking the wood like a judge's gavel. In her hand, a clipboard of fake authority. But what she didn't know was that sitting just 10 feet behind me was the state's top lawman. And today, her lies were about to explode. The lake was still that morning, glassy and perfect, reflecting the pale blue sky like a mirror no one dared to touch. I sat in my leather chair, steaming mug of coffee warming my hands, breathing in the quiet comfort that only this cabin could offer. Out here, I thought, nothing could disturb the peace. But that wasn't true, because this wasn't just an ordinary morning. Sitting only a few feet away was a man whose presence could tilt the balance of power in an instant. And I knew that any minute, something or someone was going to crash through this peace like a stone through glass. The door slammed open without a knock, shaking the cabin walls. In marched Karen, HOA clipboard, clutched like a sword, eyes narrowed, lips curled with the certainty of someone who had gotten her way 1,000 times before. Her heels hammered against the wood as though she owned every plank beneath her. "You can't just live here without HOA approval," she barked, jabbing her finger toward my chest. Her voice carried the sharpness of a rusted saw, grating, relentless. I didn't move. I didn't flinch. My coffee was still warm in my hand. She launched into a tirade about fines, inspections, and illegal renovations, waving papers I'd never seen before. Her certainty was unshakable, at least until her eyes finally flicked past me toward the quiet man in the corner. Her expression shifted instantly. Relief, confidence. She thought her reinforcements had arrived. "Oh, good," she smiled coldly. "You're here to help me file charges against him?" The man behind me slowly set down his teacup. His movements were deliberate, unhurried, like a lion stretching before the hunt. When he finally looked up, his eyes locked on Karen with a weight that made the air grow heavier. "Charges?" His voice was low, steady, the kind of tone that didn't need volume to demand attention. Karen folded her arms, emboldened by what she assumed was an ally. "Yes. He's violating HOA codes and refusing to pay fines. I demand you arrest him or shut down this cabin immediately." The faintest smirk tugged at the Attorney General's lips. "Ma'am, do you even know whose cabin this is?" Karen blinked, caught off guard. "Some squatter?" That was the second she realized her mistake. The Attorney General rose, buttoning his suit jacket, his presence suddenly filling the room. "This cabin is protected under state law, and he is the one who helped me secure that protection." Karen's face drained of color, but instead of backing down, she doubled down. "I don't care who he knows. HOA rules apply everywhere." The Attorney General chuckled softly, like a storm cloud rumbling on the horizon. Before Karen could spit out another word, the door burst open again. Two men stepped inside, their dark jackets stamped with bold lettering. State Enforcement Division. Not police, not local deputies. These men carried clipboards instead of guns, but their presence was heavier than any weapon. "Mr. Hayes, we're here for the scheduled review of shoreline access." Karen jumped in before I could speak. "Perfect timing. He's blocking public lake entry and violating building codes. Write it all down." The officer raised an eyebrow. "And you are," she straightened proudly, "HOA president, under HOA authority." The officer cut her off, his tone flat, final. "Ma'am, this cabin sits on state-leased conservation land. HOA jurisdiction does not apply." Karen froze. The blood drained from her face. "I couldn't help myself," I laughed. "You mean you've been illegally collecting fees?" The Attorney General's smirk sharpened. "That's not just overreach, ma'am. That's fraud." Karen snatched out her phone, muttering under her breath as she dialed. "I'll call the real police. You'll all see." Minutes later, sirens cut through the crisp lake air. Gravel crunched outside as two sheriff SUVs pulled in. Karen practically skipped to the door. "Finally, arrest him!" But when the sheriff stepped inside, his eyes immediately landed on me. Hayes, what's going on here? Karen shoved herself between us. This man is squatting illegally, refusing inspections, and these two are impersonating officials. The sheriff's brow furrowed. Karen, did you just accuse the state attorney general of impersonating an official? The attorney general stepped closer. You've run out of excuses, Karen. Fraud, impersonation, obstruction. That's serious time. The sheriff confiscated her phone. The lake was calm again, but the echoes of her downfall lingered.